What's up, folks? What's going on? Hopefully everybody's doing good. Got my man Night Tech in here. We're
It's
gonna,
good.
yeah, it's been a minute. So we're getting ready to chop this thing up, man. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Google's takeover. Oh man, it's that probably that makes a lot of people mad for some reason, but
I say, those iPhone people are about to get you, yo.
I ain't thinking about no iPhone people. Ah, yeah. I'm trying to add this text right here. Boom. What's up? What's up, man? What's going on? I see you guys dropping in. I'm a little behind because we was having some technical difficulties, but we are on right now. We're ready to go. My man Night Tech joined me on the stream. You got the hookup.
Get that on camera.
Let's get it on. Team Pixel is right up in here. LaShawn is here. I'm so glad you made it, bro. LaShawn is in the house. We ready to kick this thing off. We ready to get this chat going. We're gonna talk about it. You guys was just waiting on the price. That's all you was waiting on, really, because you already knew the phone was gonna take over. So you already know it's good, man. So we getting ready to ooh, look at that out of stock.
You can't even get one now.
This is a hit right here, man. This is Tech King Mike in the house. Team Pixel, we're gonna gather up and celebrate the victory because first let me just bring it back a little bit because there's kind of a lot to go over in here in this stream right now. And I definitely appreciate everybody coming through. I'm gonna try to keep it to a realistic approach because in reality, if you don't have the phones, you don't know yet. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't know. Oh, BW, my bad, man. I forgot. Let me hook up BW real quick. He wanted to come on, and I totally forgot to send that link. I was running behind, B, and I got caught up with that technical stuff. But I got you right now. It's in your inbox right now, B Dub. There you go, man. But yeah, man, I'm telling you, this was the cream of the crop. It was so many people watching this event, and everybody was pumped. Everybody knew this was going to be a good device, but we technically didn't really know that much about it. The one thing Google did that I love is they focused on video. They focused on video right away. They jumped right in and they admitted, they said, yo, Jay, look, I feel like they was talking right to me. They was like, yo, Jay, look, we know we haven't been doing you right on video, and we got to go ahead and beat up on some cameras. So we're going to get this video thing right for you because we know you like to vlog with your devices, shoot content with your devices. Oh, yes. So first question, before we get the conversation going, who actually, give a hand raise in the chat or just type in what you ordered. If you're actually able to order, were you even able to order? This is a good thing. This is a good thing. T, see, remember Night Tech, I was telling you about the embargo date? T is kind of commenting on that. It's like it's a double standard, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird, but there is an embargo date. There's an embargo date, and that's all that behind the scenes stuff. I want to focus on the devices, but he is correct. There is kind of some things going on right there, but you know what? I'm just blessed to be in the company of all you great Pixel fans, and that is what we're going to discuss today. This is Pixel. Now, after that event, you can't tell me that this wasn't the most anticipated, hyped phone that was coming. Everybody was waiting on this joint right here. Everybody was waiting. No? I know you was waiting. Night Tech, hold it down for a minute. I'm going to post this link and give us your thoughts real quick, Mona. Were you able to get an order? You know what I'm saying?
So I finally did get an order in through BestBuy.com because the Google store kept on crashing over and over. And by the time I got to actual checkout, everything just started going out of stock. Starting with the white, it just went out of stock. I went to the black, 512, out of stock. It just started dropping. I went to the sunrise, totally out of stock. And then it was, I think the only thing left was the 128 black. and it was pushed back to like November 5th through the 10th or something like that for delivery. So I was like, you know what? Screw that. I was like, let me see Target if Target had it. Target didn't even have it up there. The funny part is they had the deal for the buds. And if you order the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro, you get the free buds, but the Pixel 6 was nowhere to be found. So I headed over to Best Buy. And then Best Buy, same thing. Once everybody realized that Best Buy had them, it started going out of stock at Best Buy. So at the time, my only choice, I did get my order in. It was a 128 gig white one. So
that white though, that's what I'm talking about right there, V. That white though. The thing about this launch right here is here's what Google did right. They kept everybody on edge, son. Didn't they keep everybody on edge? Like, there's no way you couldn't be pumped up about it. There's no way.
It was crazy. If you weren't hyped about that, then you ain't really a techie, bro.
Yeah, because this is what you know what I like though. I want to hear your thoughts on the event itself. I like how Google got the price right out of the way, and then I like how they just tackled the fact that we need to improve our video. That is what I love. They jumped right into that and said, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and be honest with you. We're going to give it to you straight. We're going to give it to you straight. And we're just going to tell you, look, this is what just happened. Where we sorry, basically, for not putting down the video like we should over the years. Even though the Pixel 4 and 4 XL was hot, man. The video on the Pixel 4 and 4 XL were great. They were fantastic, but they just didn't get the love. It's like some people just couldn't grasp that those devices had great cameras. Some people just wouldn't do it. But I obviously I'm a part of Team Pixel, like officially like a part of the group that Google sends them out to. So this is an advantage that I have. I'm not going to sit on this camera in front like, but I actually did, go towards because I told you whatever they send me, I'm going to order the opposite. I'm going to show love. Because I want to see what the other one is about. So I'm not worried about out of stock and all that stuff. And I do have a little bit of pressure off my shoulders because Google was able to hook it up. You know what I'm saying? But whatever Google doesn't send, I need to get in there and order the white version of, whatever the opposite is. Because I really want the light colors. So I'm excited.
When them things are selling, you better get your order in now.
Yeah, no, I'm not even sweating it. I'm not even sweating it because I don't have to be first. I don't have to be first. You know what I'm saying? So let's tackle this thing right here. People talking about the $300 difference on the base models. I'm going to go ahead and put these up. I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to go ahead and show you. We're going to go ahead and do Google always puts on their website the comparison. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put it up. I'm going to share the screen. We're going to put it up. First, before we do that, let's go ahead and bring in my man, 100 grand. He finally, man, I was slipping on this, man. I was having some technical difficulties, which is why I started at 215, but I got to bring my man in. He holds it down. ZV-1, folks.
What it do, people?
What's good, fam?
What's going on? Thank you for allowing me on the stream this week.
Man, please.
Awesome.
I was hoping you could make it because I know you be traveling and stuff, and I said, man, I hope you can make it. And Anthony, Anthony, the other Anthony, my Project 13, he had some things going on, so he couldn't make it. So the crew comes down, B-Dub holding it down, Night Tech holding it down. Night Tech was ready to go anyway. He was ready to go a week ago. He was like, man, I got to get on this Pixel joint. Yeah. We got to get on this Pixel joint. We got to put it down. So.
I don't know if I would have came on if I didn't get my order.
That's
Yeah, I don't know. I was a whole nother man. I put my son to sleep for his nap, and I was just like, "Yo, I'm not getting
This is a good look from Google. We're gonna tackle. So let's rewind for a minute. If you're not a part of the official Team Pixel, because let's be real, they sent us a device, and we're gonna kick back and enjoy it. I'm gonna buy the other one though. I want to see what both devices are about. So we're also going to tackle the price. We're going to tackle the differences. We're going to tackle, a few things in this stream because this is what I've been waiting for the last 3 to 4 months. However long they had it going on. So first off, before we get to that though, hopefully you guys were able to get a pre-order in if you You know what I'm saying? Like if you didn't, or you don't have one already now, or you don't have one on the way. So B-Dub, are you going to order?
No, I already have them coming on the way
Okay,
because I'm a part of Team
that's
Pixel.
what I forgot. You are a part of Team Pixel. Word. And Night Tech got his order in. You know what I mean? So first, I want to get y'all's opinion, and I want to go last. I want to give y'all the floor because, you know, we want to have a balanced playing field here. And I like to have B-Dub on because he makes it. He doesn't always agree, but it's a good thing because he's always got that different perspective, which is logical. Left side thinker. I'm a left brainer. I'm a left brainer, and I think he is probably too. He might be a left brainer too. But B-Dub, what is your first impressions as a whole? What do you think about the Pixel 6 Pro and the Pixel 6?
I think they're both devices that are aimed. I think they're good devices in general. I want to wait until I get them in my hand to really give that true opinion. But I think Google has really found that blend finally between we're going to make this flagship phone, but we're not going to overprice it to a point where it's at these $1,000+ numbers that were not popular when we did do that before. Because remember, they did do that before and they were heavily criticized for it. Even though they matched what other flagship phones had in terms of specs, they were still criticized because Google, the idea was that Google and Pixel had to be a cheaper price. So I think coming in at the under $1,000 price was expected. Especially the $599 surprised me on the Pixel 6 to be that low.
I knew that was
a very good deal. Very good deal for what that's kind of offering on that one.
I'll tell you, you didn't get none of the other emails, I guess. You were surprised at that $599 price tag.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised at that.
In a good way? In a good way?
In a good way, yeah, for sure. No, in a good way. I had also been I like before events happen, kind of block out everything so I just can kind of get a good impression of the event. Because I go to a lot of these events on the regular, and it's like it's fun to like go when you don't know what's happening already versus when you know everything and you're just kind of sitting there and just kind of
a boring first impression.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It definitely does. I think the pricings are good on them. I think the specs, it's interesting. They focus really first on talking about Android 12 and Material U and that camera, the feature of being able to change their UI based upon whatever color you take. That's actually existed before in blue phones. A lot of people probably don't know that, but blue phones were one of the first to really do that, which I thought was really cool. Cool way to customize your operating system and however you wanted to do it. So I like that. They focused a lot on Tensor, and I wish they'd give it a better name than just Tensor. But they focused on that a bit to get sort of, I guess, the geek speak out of the way. Shout out to the sign language interpreter that had to like sign all that geek speak that way. I'm like, it's not like they're speaking basic here and she can just kind of translate. I'm like, I don't think all this can translate the right way. But she did a good job and kept up with it clearly. And they did jump right into the videos and the camera, and I like what they talked about with that, and continue to improve that, continue to push the lead in the camera department in that space. Improving the video, which is something really good to see them do in getting video better in that situation than what they kind of had before. It wasn't nearly as bad as people made it out to be, but drama has to ensue on YouTube because we have to have the Sam Apple argument all the time.
Oh God, yeah.
Anybody that comes after that isn't allowed to exist in this space.
Word.
But it just overall, it's like we knew a lot about the device already, and some people criticize, "Oh, everybody knows everything already," and I'm like, I don't think that matters.
Yeah,
I think that matters to some of the tech community, but to the majority of people, anybody with just like common sense, you start to think about it, is like, it doesn't matter if we know these things already or not.
Yeah,
as long as they say it's official, they do an event, that's fine. Whatever, just say what it is, and the second thing people don't understand is like the casuals and normies are not watching this.
Right.
They
Right.
do not watch these events.
Yeah.
And trust me, Apple and Google know that now because Apple
Mhm.
is far more technical in their last two events than they've ever done in the past, which tells me that they've kind of figured out who their audience is for these particular types of events.
Right.
And Google's just done the same thing. If Google thought that average folks that just buy phones were watching this, you would never heard the word Tensor. They'd have never broken down how many cores are in the processor.
Right.
We would have told you it takes good pictures and does this simply, and it would have been very basic language. This go around, they definitely went a lot different with that.
Mhm.
They know who they're talking with, so I think that's what makes it a little bit more of an interesting sort of event overall. But I think both. I'm excited to get the Pro in hand because I'm always the type that wants the Pro device
Right.
and really see how well it works, what it does. I think there's going to be a lot of very interested Note users out there that are probably
Yep.
like, man, I don't have a Note replacement right now. Let me
Yep.
see what this does. Could this be something I can kind of replace that or come into that sort of space? So that'll definitely be of interesting. Another thing I to note that I did like that they did highlight now that they are controlling their own SoC, they can deliver 5 years of updates
5 years.
on their phones. At least they're promising security updates, which I think is the smarter thing to say versus trying to say you're going to upgrade the software that way because you don't know where you're going to be down the line in terms of power and the software. But if you can continue to upgrade your security patches, I think that's a really good thing to have because you don't want to get caught with your pants down like Apple did with them promising all these updates and all these other things, and it doesn't quite work that way. And
I knew that was coming.
And you notice that that's not talked about, even though they got sued for it,
Yeah.
like a full class action lawsuit for it. But
Yeah.
you don't hear them influencers talking about that one. I wonder why.
Yeah. So, Anthony, your overall impressions, like when you first saw it, like boom, they dropped it. Like B-Dub said, we knew just
I'm
kind
about
of
to say,
yeah, we kind of knew it, but it's always different though. Like you said, it's always different once it's gonna feel different. Everybody's gonna stop clowning the back camera. Everybody's gonna stop talking about the bezels are too big. Once you get it in hand, I just think some of these arguments are just the most ridiculous, but it is what it is. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion about something. But I think some people have been going overboard to intentionally hate on the Pixel devices just because they knew that somewhere down inside these are going to be fantastic. So let me try to stir up this narrative right now. But what's your first impressions? And we're going to move on to talk about the $300 difference and things like that. But what's your first impression so far when you first saw that thing?
Man, I was excited. You already know. I was in the chat like, yo, I can't even order this thing right now. But like you said, we knew most of the stuff already because Google put it out there, plus the leaks and stuff like that. But like BW said, I have to wait till I get it in hand. I'm not going to say, oh, it's the greatest phone because I don't have it. But on paper, it's looking like a beast.
Yeah.
You're going to have your haters on the camera. Like I said, I'm going to wait and hold judgment on the cameras till I get it. But we already know Google ain't putting out no trash.
Nah.
Hopefully the cameras for the video is up there, up to par with the rest of these flagship devices.
Oh, can I jump in on one thing for a second when you get back to the camera? I just thought of something when you mentioned that. Let's talk about the awkward Snapchat thing that just showed up in there. And the first thing I said was like, how quickly does a hack come out so people can use TikTok instead of Snapchat on that thing? How quickly?
I don't know. That right there is the whole Apple thing, man, because everybody always clowning Android for the trash.
I want to show you something.
Record. I never understood why folks just don't record with the native camera because it's better quality in general, anyways. Even in Apple, it's better quality.
So check this out. There's some people that are saying that they're sold out on this stream. You know how I am during streams. I'll be shopping. So I was like, you know what? You guys are right. Maybe I might want to try to get in right now. So while you was talking, B-Dub, I ordered one. And I'll prove it to you.
Through Best Buy?
Ordered it right there. My date is the 20. My date is I ordered the small one because I know they're going to send the big one. My date is like the 29th or something like that for delivery. You know what I mean? So I don't know how people are not being able to order.
It's the Pro.
Huh?
Man, the Pro is sold out.
Let me take a
No,
look
the
here.
6 is selling like crazy right now too, son. More people
No, I'm
want that
just saying
6.
I'm thinking. No, I'm saying they're both selling, but the Pro went out first. So when I just checked,
Okay,
it said
okay, I
can't.
see what people are talking about here.
What?
It's out of stock of the unlocked version, but there is the Verizon
Yeah.
version and the Google
I
Fi
just
version
ordered
that are
unlocked.
available.
I just ordered unlocked.
For the Pro.
Yeah, but I think it's
I
for the
noticed that.
Pro.
Okay.
Pro.
Okay. Yeah, I just ordered an unlocked 6 in green. So
Yeah, you can still, and you can still even pay in full. You can either finance through Verizon or pay in full.
I'll
I'm just
just
going
pay for it.
through.
I mean,
You got to sign in, so I think you can still get a Verizon version of it, which is still technically unlocked. But it looks like the unlocked version is sold out on the Pixel 6 Pro. Let me check for the regular.
so what he's doing, I want to show you this poll so far.
Those prices, man. Those
So
prices
far,
was like,
people are excited about the. Here, I'll just show you the numbers. Let me show you the numbers real quick. I put up a poll about 2 hours ago, and there's quite a substantial amount of votes on here. But I'm going to show you this poll real quick so you can see what people are thinking. So
The
right
6
now,
is unlocked and available.
yeah. So right now, the Pixel 6 128, it seems like it's the top seller. That's the top one right there. That's it. People are interested in that one more than anything else because that 8 gigs of RAM, 120 gigs of storage, 90 hertz display. We're gonna get into this in a second here, but I'm pretty sure that tons of people are going to be ordering the 6 way more than we think. I think tons of people, and not to mention, you get free Galaxy Buds. You get free Galaxy Buds. Yeah, you get free Galaxy Buds.
Pixel Buds? I got what?
Yeah,
Pixel
you
Buds.
got Galaxy Buds. I'm all over the place. You get free Pixel Buds. You get free Pixel Buds with it. So, yeah, that's what it is, man.
No, I'm telling you, those prices are great. Google knew what they were doing when they dropped those prices because I'm not gonna lie, I thought about ordering both.
Yes, they
I
did.
stopped myself because I wanted that orange reddish color one.
Yes, they did. They knew what was up. All right, so I need to talk about how I feel about, you know what I'm saying, like the first impressions of it. You know what I mean? It's what I knew it was going to be. And it's kind of like, you know, something's going to be good, but you don't want to speak too soon. You know what I mean? Like BW said, that Snapchat thing, I'll probably never use that because I don't use Snapchat. You see what I'm saying? So the fact that I don't use Snapchat, but apparently there's billions of snaps going on every day, right? You know what I'm saying? Like people are using Snapchat every day. I don't use Snapchat. The farthest I'm going is Instagram, community tab, you know what I'm saying, and things like that. So it's refreshing to know though that they did do something in specific. You know, they have these like little partner deals or whatever, you know what I'm saying, to hook it up and you know, it goes down like that. That's what happens when you get these little deals and you see something's really good. Everybody wants a piece of it. So the Snapchat thing, like Barry just said, Snapchat thing. Shout out to Barry Johnson, all you regulars in here, the supporters. I appreciate you guys, man. The Snapchat thing is going to be big with the younger generation, and then also the smaller Pixel should be good for them because it's still big, right? It's got a 6.4-inch display. That's pretty big. So I want to show my impressions of this thing is that it was fire all the way. I knew it was going to be a hit already. I just really didn't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's this? What's going down with this? What should I really and truly be excited about this?
The question I have, though.
Yeah.
What do you think about the storage sizes?
All right. So storage sizes for me, I think are totally fair. Let me pull it. Let me share the screen real quick. So we can look at it real time real quick. So let me share this screen. Let me get out of here.
Oh shit! I messed this up.
Let me go over here and let's share. Because that's a legitimate yeah. So we're gonna phones compare. We're gonna share this tab right here. So we're gonna go ahead and share this. and we're gonna put it up. We're gonna put it up here. So we're gonna walk through this real quick. They got the Pixel 5. This is on Google's website, by the way. So we're gonna do it like this. You guys can clearly see that, and we'll run down. You know what I'm saying? The options here, because first question is, do you honestly believe that there should have been a 512 Pixel 6? You think there should have been?
No.
Because they know that people are going to buy the Pixel 6, right? They know more of those are going to sell, I would think.
Even but I don't think those people want 512 gigabytes though. I don't think that's necessarily a thing.
Yeah,
I think that gets very kind of overstated.
How much was the 256?
The 256 gig is what? The $699. The Pixel 6 has a 256 gig for $699.
It would have been $799. Yeah, maybe.
Might as well buy a Pro at that point.
Yeah, exactly. No one would buy the Pro model. They would just buy the Pixel 6. So let's look at this here. So just focus on the two on the on two on the left, or however your angle is. 6.7, 120 hertz quad HD display, 512 pixels per inch versus 411 pixels per inch, 1080 by 2340. Both of these are still fantastic, man. But the advantage to me goes to the smaller pixel because it's 20 by 9 instead of 19 by 5 by 9. And you might not think that's a big difference, but 20 by 9 to me, I love that aspect ratio. I love 20 by 9. That's his personal preference for me. But you got 90 hertz for $599, 20 by 9. You understand? That's and to answer those questions about people talking about the $300 difference, that is why I'm showing this to you directly, just like this. This is your $300 difference. So you got a smaller, more manageable display, which is still big. It still has a good PPI. It's going to have a pretty good display as well. It's OLED. It's 20 by 9.
Low refresh rate, I think, too.
It's got 90 hertz versus 120. You know what I'm saying? And then they both have the HDR support or whatever. You got the Victus glass always on. This is all the same. Here's where you come down here to where, it's a little different. It's got a 4614 battery versus a 5000. So I bet you these batteries still perform the same, though. You think these batteries going to be that much different in performance?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either, because it's running a quad HD display.
Yeah.
So people talked about the $300 difference. Here's probably where your big difference in $300 is these, they seem to think, because these are DDR5. So you got 8 gigs versus 12. It's a 512 option right here. I think once you go to the 256 and above, it almost kind of balances out. That's like you said, B-Dub. That's why they don't have a 512, because it probably would have been $899 or $999.
And I also think you need the higher RAM amount too.
Exactly.
I think you would need like 10 or 12 gigs for the 512 as well too.
To even, to even have it even considerable, you know what I mean? Like to even just give it any thought. That 512 with the 12 gig makes it a beast either way. But I think those are some of the differences right there. That difference that people are talking about, some might say it's not worth it. It's because this camera module also, it pretty much have the same cameras ultimately. You know what I mean? So
almost. There's a couple differences though. Almost.
I was gonna say, look at the differences. So you got the 50 megapixel. That's the same. The aperture is the same. They have stock. It's got the a laser detect autofocus. But then you have you got the OIS on the wide and the telephoto, and then there's no telephoto, right? There's no telephoto on here, right? On the small one.
The small one, there's no telephoto lens.
Right. No. So you have OIS on the wide angle and the telephoto lens. That is a huge difference that also goes towards that $300 difference. I'm not saying it's okay. Don't take it that way. I'm just saying it's got a 48 megapixel telephoto lens. That should be pretty sick. That should be crazy.
And they did bump it up.
Yeah. The front camera is 11.
The front camera, they did actually bump it up with the weirdest number possible, but
11.1. But look, they have a 94-degree ultra-wide view on the front versus the 84. So again, I'm not saying that it's justified in the $300 difference, but you got to see some things here why they're going to. And it's no different than what any other OEMs do. Look at the difference between the price of an Apple iPhone 13 and an iPhone 13 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Oh wow.
Same thing. So T says only 4K 60 on the main lens on the Pixel 6 Pro. Okay. I'm looking for let me see here. I'm trying to see if there's anything really different in these two over here. I don't really see. Nah, not really. So there are some differences that are making that price jump to 300. Plus, it's a Pro. It's got a Quad HD display, 12 gigs of RAM. You got a 512. There's a lot more going on the Pro, obviously. But the fact that they started off at $899, that's a boss right there, man. That's beast mode right there. I wonder if they got the Pixel 4 XL in here. Here we go. The Pixel 4 XL was I think this is one of the greatest phones they made. But look at the advancements they've made from here to there. I forgot that phone was a 6.3. Look at the design aspect. They've come a long way, man.
Very long way.
They have come a long way, and I think people really need to check that, man, because the Pixel 4 XL, to me, was one of the best phones that they have put out. The 4 lineup, period, was a great phone. Yeah.
It was. I didn't like the look of the Pixel 4 XL, but overall, the design and everything else did look. I mean, I didn't like the look, but the actual phone itself was pretty good.
Yeah.
It just got, I think, very unfairly bashed.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it did too. I think people just kind of say, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and just trash this just because. And people were already nitpicking. They were nitpicking the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, and we like, wait a minute. And I mean, like, the phone's not here yet, and then you are already have like this. Again, I always say people try to control the narrative. If you can control the narrative, you can get a lot done. You can convince people that something is something, i.e. waste of space. Like key phrase words, trigger words to make people think that something really is what it is, and it's really not. So Craig Jackson says the Pixel 6 Pro is sold out in every color in the UK. Some people kind of mocked and laughed at the Pixel 6, like, nah, this ain't gonna be that. That 50 megapixel camera ain't gonna be nothing. But you know what I like? I like how Google jumped right out there and said, yo, we needed to improve video, so here you go. So on the video side, we really want to know, like, my test is going to look obviously a little different. You know what I'm saying? They were in these beautiful parts of the world. I might have to go to the park or something to get me that same, get my waterfall, you know what I'm saying, somewhere else. But what do you think about the video that they showed? How do you think the cameras, do you think they're really going to live up to the hype?
Did they confirm anything about it only being 4K 60 through one lens?
I didn't. The 4K 60, I don't know where that's confirmed. T was saying that earlier, but I don't know where he got that from. I'm not sure.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, I didn't see it either, but if he found it somewhere, I mean, he could post the link in there. We can post it up. You know what I'm saying? We can go to it and we can check it out. But I didn't see anything about, like it only being, I know I heard him say 4K 60 on the front and the rear. That's what I heard him say. I mean,
it's confirmed, but I'd like to see who confirmed it, though. Definitely, that's interesting. If it's only, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think people make a bigger deal out of that than when it really is.
Yeah, I mean that goes along with a lot of things. Like when people,
I don't know why people are shooting in 4K 60 unless they know what they're doing with it, which majority of the people don't.
4K 60 already is not used for what it technically should be used for, right? Most people don't use it for slowing down that footage and getting it. Most people don't use it for that. They use it just to shoot 4K 60 because it looks really clear. And that's the reason. That's one of the reasons I use. I'm not going to sit on video and say, oh, I use it for slowing down video. No, I'm not going to lie like that. I technically sometimes shoot 4K 60 because it looks good. That's what I like. I like 4K 60. I like the way 60 frames per second looks, is what I'm saying. I mean, but even the people in the tech world don't really use, these techies and tech enthusiasts, they use 120 hertz and slow it down at 4K. That's what I've seen. I've heard a lot of people confirm that. I use 120 hertz and I slow it down because obviously that's going to look better, slowed down than 60 frames per second.
Yeah, definitely. If you can slow down, if you have 4K 120p or most likely 1080p 120p.
Yeah, 120 is going to be way better to slow down than 60. I'm glad anyway. Yeah. If in fact that, but you know what though, I like that he threw that out there. You know what I'm saying? It's respect, because that might mean something to some. There's a part of something for everyone. I think that's sometimes what people forget. Just because I don't use, 4K 60 to whatever, the part that he's mentioning, that's important to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So Barry says, Google. Let me put this. Let me find here. Barry says, real talk, Google is saying that it has 4K 60 on all rear cameras, or he's asking a question here. I mean, somebody can do some research. I'll post it up and we'll go to it and check it out for ourselves. But I don't really care that it can't. Like earlier, it's
I don't think it's a big deal.
Throwing it out there. I don't really care if it does 460 on a half a camera or just the front only. I don't care. If I want to shoot 4K 60, I now know that I can shoot 4K 60 and it's going to look good. And honestly, I just can't wait to put it against the iPhone 13 Pro. That's what I'm really excited about, because I'm working on something for the iPhone 13 Pro. It's really nice. I've been working on it for just a little bit. It's good. I finished it today, because I think the iPhone 13 Pro's cameras are really good outside. So I'm hoping, with all the hype that I'm doing for this phone, that indoors, I'm just gonna keep it 100. If it's not doing it, it's not doing it. I've proven that the Z Flip 3 has good cameras no matter what. I'm not saying like I proved it to me. For all you sensitive people out there, just because you say it is not a fact. The truth of the matter is, the Samsung cameras, like the Note line, most of the Samsung cameras do fantastic indoors. So if the Pixel 6 Pro or Pixel 6 don't perform indoors like I like, you get called out too. I'm not in the business of being on a hype train. I think the Z Flip cameras are ridiculous. As a matter of fact, I recorded my entire footage with the Z Flip 3 of my kind of updated review of the iPhone 13 Pro. Barry says he wasn't asking a question. Let me go back to this here. He said, sorry, Jay, I wasn't asking a question. Google says that it does shoot 4K 60 on all rear. Okay, got you. Yeah. I think a lot of people is just gonna I think a lot of people, get a source is what I'll say. Source, like I can see B-Dub over there searching. I can see him searching, trying to find it.
I was reading up more on the Pixel Pass.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, Night Tech was talking about the Pixel Pass. How you feel about the Pixel Pass? Why you brought Night Tech? You qualify for the Pixel Pass? What's good?
I didn't. All it is, from what I can see, is you get all of the, in your purchase, you get all of the Google's, like, what is it? Google services, like all in one package.
Stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, YouTube Premium Music, which I think I paid
like a couple of bucks or something like that. It wasn't nothing like too special.
How much is it?
It's $45 a month and then $55 a month, I think, for the Pro. But it's like you get warranty with it effectively.
Oh,
you can upgrade every 2 years with it. Really, the chunk of this is the warranty. It's like they're adding that on top of it. Then you get Google One for up to 200 gigs of storage. The Google Play Pass, so you get the games out of that Play Pass thing. YouTube Premium, YouTube Music, which technically, if you have one, you get the other anyways.
Gotcha.
With that, it's not a bad deal. This doesn't work for me because I actually pay for these separately. I actually just recently upgraded to Google One myself.
Okay.
I paid $20 or whatever for the year or something for. And I'm grandfathered into the $8 like YouTube Google Play Music thing when it first started. So I've just stuck with that, and I already get YouTube Premium and YouTube Music Premium already included in mine. Although I don't like what they've done with YouTube Music very much compared to Google Play Music. It's weird. The accounts aren't set up the same way, and I've just been on Spotify, and it made me pay for Spotify basically, even though I already get this thing for free or included.
I pretty much, we have the family plan for, because most of my who's spamming, man? What a hammer's at? I mean, because I'm inside of this Restream thing. Let me go over here real quick and see what you're talking about.
We can. We have Apple Apple Music, so I ain't worried about that.
Trying to say who's spamming this. Oh, okay, Barry got it.
I see him.
Barry got it.
But yeah, the that's interesting. I don't know if that pricing is going to be great for a lot of people. I think if it was priced a little, like you get $5 off of the Google Fi if you do get it as well too.
Oh, okay.
So you can subsidize it a bit, but
I try to when I'm buying something, like I try to avoid financing if I can. If I can afford to just buy it straight out, I do. But when it comes to like monthly plans, I try to limit how I divvy out money for like paid services.
Yeah.
Because right now, the best option, if you have Apple, their family plan is Boss. And so we have it's a bunch of people on the family plan. It's like $14 a month. That's a good deal, man. Everybody gets Apple Music, you know what I'm saying? Everybody gets, and as far as my Apple TV, everybody's covered under that. I like that it's like that. So
this would have been better. This would have been better if they'd let you pick the services you wanted to add to this.
So they don't let you pick.
No. See that I think that would have been the better scenario. I don't know if Apple One lets you pick. Does Apple One let you pick? I don't think it does.
Yeah,
Apple
doesn't.
Pretty much. Yeah, you can choose because we have. We have what 5 terabyte cloud or something. It's super cheap when you start to bundle. So I'm paying like $40, I think, for Apple TV for the family, Apple Music for the family, and we have the whatever the terabytes are for the family.
I don't understand this one with Google but I know that, but I kind of see why they did not talk about this pretty much during the presentation. Because I think this I don't want to call it trash because I don't think it's totally trash. I think it's just kind of.
They say it's trash, man.
Some people are going to buy this. I think some people are going to buy this, but I don't think this is positioned properly. It's
their first iteration, right? Isn't it their first time trying to go with something like this?
Yeah, it is. So I imagine they're going to revamp this and think a little bit more on it.
They'll get some feedback and then they'll revamp it.
I think by default, if they would have done the two things, I would have said, okay, you pay $15 a month, you get your warranty and you get YouTube Premium. I think you can get so many people to buy in on that just alone. And all you got to say is watch ad-free YouTube.
Yep.
Done.
Done.
Yep. They'll pay the money just to have they're most likely going to want to buy the insurance anyways to protect their phone, and then they add that along with it. I think some of these things with the cloud storage, the Play Pass, and I think you got to give some people some options on what they want to do. I see it starts at $45 a month, so I think you probably can make some small adjustments in this, but I don't know.
$45.
And they keep
Google Pass, man. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's
I get that they call it. That's the other thing. They call it Pixel Pass, and they forever don't want to brand this thing as themselves. Like if that thing said Google Pass on it, I think more people would probably look to buy it. Because rather than it's just like I know Google owns YouTube and they own these other properties, entities, and stuff like that. When you say Pixel Pass, I'm like, well, what's the Pixel Pass? Never. Yeah. It's just like the smartest thing they did with Project Fi is they made sure to name it Google Fi.
Oh yeah, because Google Fi. I was with Project Fi, and when they converted the name over, I was like, what's the difference? I've had Google Fi now or Project Fi for 6 years, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, I was on Project Fi for as my main phone for a year when I had the Nexus 6P.
All right, so those looking to buy the 128 gig Black Pro is in stock right now. You better hurry. That's the only one in stock for Pro. It just refreshed. So if you want it, you better hurry right now because the unlocked Stormy Black. The unlocked Stormy Black.
Get in there now, homie. Get in there now. I'm in here now.
You check out, but I'm not ready to pay for it.
I'm about to snatch your phone real quick.
If you refresh, you're trying to get
in. Find some trade-ins. I got trade-ins.
Your delivery will be in next week, at the end of next week or whatever, the 28th or something like that. So that's not bad. 9 days. That's a delivery date, 28th. So you better hurry if you want to get that 128 Black because man, this device right here, overall, is gonna. I want to pull up the specs side by side next to some other phones too. But when you're speaking just of specs, now here's something that we can all talk about, but we won't ever know until we've used it for 3 months or so minimum, a month minimum. I'll go ahead and pick it down to a month. The processor, because I've been saying since day one, the only way the Pixel 6 or 6 Pro is going to fail is if the processor fails. And did they do a good enough job explaining how powerful the processor is? Or, because the tech world has already thrown out there to me, oh, it's not going to be any good. It's going to be just as good as an A65 or A55. Like, those are bad.
I think the problem is because I from what I'm hearing, I think this was made by Samsung, so people are kind of putting it in the block of it being a Exynos style chip.
Yeah, I know.
I think people are down on it because of that. But if I remember correctly, Google's been making these Tensor chips for a while now. This isn't like new. This is something for about the 5-6 years they've been developing these types of chips.
Yeah.
So I think this is the first time they put it in a phone.
I don't. It's not that they didn't do enough about the chip. All right, William, you was able to get that mug. Yeah, had to get in where you can fit in, because I don't foresee these being in stock for. I don't know how much inventory they have, but Google played this right, man. They probably made about 20, 30, 40,000, maybe 100,000 to start or something like that. But I think they know that the Pro model was going to kick it, because he emphasized that. He said, we gave you what you want. We gave you a Pro model. We gave our first flagship in a long time or whatever. He said, so that's one thing about the event, though, that I like how they presented themselves. They didn't play games. He went straight to the price, and then he went straight to video. It's like, yo, this is what we needed to do. Oh, we also brought you a Pro version, a big version. So this is going to be interesting to see how this plays out when it comes to the processing power. And when I say processing power, I don't mean benchmarks. I think benchmarks, speed tests, and all that stuff is one of the silliest things to get people to watch.
It's complete garbage.
If you don't know by now, we know how B-Dub feels about this.
It's complete garbage. And I've been saying it at best, as some gadget guy, Mr. Juan Bagnell, would say, they can start a conversation, but that's about all they're good for.
That's all they're good for.
If you see somebody in review say, well, on the Geek benchmarks, it shows there's a immediately turn that video off.
I haven't done a benchmark since the last phone I did a benchmark on was, I believe, the Note 7.
I've never done them. That was not a thing ever. I don't know what started it.
I'll tell you one thing. You can get a higher score, put it in the refrigerator while I was doing the benchmark. It'll keep it cool.
That's crazy. I think that it's gonna be those. And first off, respect to other creators who are a part of the influencer crew, who are able to show the device now. None of us can do a review yet, but I think we're personally gonna see this continued lopsided view of something towards Google, because like B-Dub was saying earlier, it's always this Apple and Samsung thing. All Google has done now is put themselves right above all of that. That's the way I look at it, because their phones are priced incredibly well. Like the Pro version is getting that attention because it's got 12 gigs of RAM. There's a 512 option, and it costs $10.99. So you just look at how, because everybody keep on saying, well, I can't wait to see it against the iPhone. Because Apple they've done that good job at marketing to convince people that they are the standard. That's what they've done. And who am I to hate on that? If they were able to get into people's minds and convince them that we are the standard, you mimic what we do, so be it. If that's what it is, that's what it is. But I don't foresee myself picking, and it has nothing to do with what I prefer at this point. This is just straight up from personal use. I actually really like the 13 Pro. It just fails in camera quality for me, and it's kind of the same thing over again, just better. So the 13 Pro is actually really, really solid. I think that's probably the best iPhone of all four of them. That smaller 6.1 Pro. That's a good iPhone. Because I did check out, and I have the 13 as well. But I did check out the Max, and I was like, I just don't see the purpose of me spending this little bit extra to get this for the bigger display. But when it comes to the Pixel, I think Google just pretty much shut everybody up. Now, I'm not going to say they shut down the iPhone right away, but I will say I feel like I can personally comfortably say Google has definitely shut down other Android phones. The pricing versus value to customer, come on, son. Come on. They shut it down. And you know what? That's why online I posted Take That OnePlus. Because Google OnePlus used to, they used to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? OnePlus used to be the one. They were kicking out a ton of specs at a low price. Now, this is why I go back and say, Google, all you have to do is get that chip right. You in there. You have shut down every other Android phone that tries to consider value to consumer. In particular, the Pixel 6. If you can get a 256 gig Pixel 6, OnePlus is about to be done for. If you can get a Pixel 6 for the 256 gig or the 128, if you
OnePlus ever in the actual game to begin with outside of the techie space, and I have been saying that since the original OnePlus.
Yeah,
and people fight me on this, and I'm like, OnePlus phones have been good phones, but they're for the they're for the tech community. Yeah. Outside of that tech community, if you walk, let me know if you've seen a OnePlus in public.
I've never seen one.
Let me know if you've seen any one of those in public that isn't obviously a nerd.
I've never seen one.
You probably have not seen one. I've seen more Pixels out there, even though that's not to be admitted in the tech community. I've seen way more Pixels out there than what people think.
Oh yeah, because a lot of people think the iPhone is the standard for like the device for creators. But personally, I see a lot of, and you know what Pixel I actually see a lot of? The Pixel 2 XL. Oh my God, I see so many Pixel 2 XLs. I mean, I'm not making this up. I see a lot of Pixel 2 XLs.
That they got themselves a Pixel 3A or something.
That's the Panda one. That Panda one was, that joint was fire, man. So I think Google as a whole, they played this right. They had already redeemed themselves in my book. They had already redeemed themselves from that. Which Pixel was it everybody hated? Was it the 3X? It was the 3, right? The 3XL?
It was the 3 with the boat tub notch.
Yeah. The one that people crapped all over them for. So they had, to me, when they went with the 3A, then the 4 and 4, they had already redeemed themselves.
The 3 and 3XL was a step backwards. And I think everybody admitted that was like a step backwards in what they were doing. But once they hit the 4, which I think I can only criticize the look of it a little bit, but the 4 itself was a pretty good device internally. Yeah. But it hurt from what was talked about with the 3A. But once they came with the original 3, when the 3A and the 4A started, and now the 5A, the Pixel 5 is a really good device.
Yes.
Even though it's put into the mid-range level of things, the Pixel 5 is a really good device as well too.
Yep.
But the difference now is the Pixel 2 sold a lot, but that was also paired with Verizon kind of pushing that phone,
right?
As well. This is the first time they have put heavy marketing at this level behind a phone, that they're actually like this. The marketing that they're doing is Samsung level marketing. They bought billboards and things in the past, but they're doing commercials. They're doing advertising. They're doing internet advertising. They're pushing. They're pushing this in a lot of ways, which is something they talked about in their earnings calls about this, that they were going to be pushing phones in the Pixel brand more. I think partly because they clearly had good sales, not pushing things up at a certain way, even though you'll just always hear the sentiment of the tech community say that, well, I wish people would buy Pixel phones as much as they say that they do. For a company that doesn't advertise, it outsells companies that do advertise. They outsell some of the other ones that do. It's saying something. And then remember, they're always in this little bit of a weird space of, for a while, where, okay, we can introduce our Pixel phones, and they're half a developer phone, half a phone we want people to have.
That's correct.
But we also have all these other competitors out here that we need to make sure that they sell us well too. It's the same middle ground that Microsoft has been in for a long time with stuff like the Surface. But I think they got in the position that Microsoft got in as well too, with there being only one or two dominant players for their software, and they need to introduce somebody, and then somebody needs to come in and kind of disrupt that, and I think allow a more vibrant market. One, another option. Two, to keep the others in check and have sort of a standard of what you want that phone to be like.
So, question:
and
did Google need the Tensor chip? You think it would be the same for them as hype and everything if they would have went with like a Qualcomm 889? Do you think the hype would? I think the hype wouldn't have been there, to be honest.
No, it wouldn't have been there because everybody would have just compared it. Oh well, because it has this processor and it needs to meet X price against to it, so we expect a Y performance against whatever that is in the community. So it was important that they use their own chip in this particular instance.
I think they need. Yeah, I think they need
make this sort of happen for them. And the other thing is that they had to come at it this way primarily because of Samsung completely flooding and oversaturating the market with phones.
Oh yeah,
unapologetically doing it,
right?
In a way that was destructive to the market, just so they could say that they're number two or they're number one in the space.
Hello. I like I said, I think they needed the Tensor chip because it separates them from the crowd. It separates them from the crowd. That's what I think that I've always said that I think Google should, kind of lock down the pixels. You know what I mean? I think they should lock them down and give it exclusive features that no other Android. This is where people say, oh, they stole this from the iPhone. They mimicked it. Everybody copies the iPhone. The only time I think a company should copy Apple is the strategy. Meaning, don't give it all away to. I mean, I know Android is open source, but what's Google's operating system that they worked on? What is it called? Fuchsia.
Fuchsia.
They could have put that into play if they wanted to, and with the Tensor chip. So I hope in the future they do bring that to the forefront and give us something. That's where I think companies should actually copy Apple. With the people talk about Apple being locked down, but you know what? The fact of the matter is, this lockdown phone. My lockdown tablet over there, 7 years old, is running the same software as my lockdown phone. You see what I'm saying? So with Google and Samsung, they have to rely on open source because Android is open source. But I'm telling you, if Google does something like that, it'll catch some heat at some point or another. Just like TouchWiz was a thing, and they stepped away. Samsung stepped away. So if Google
TouchWiz was never that bad, by the way.
Exactly, because this ain't
never that bad. That was an entire ridiculous tech community.
This ain't number TouchWiz right here. But I need Google to go ahead and in the future do something like that, man. Lock it down. And it's not that they're copying Apple. I'm just saying, current day, Apple is the only one publicly known to be almost arrogant and pompous with their products. No, we're only going to update this to this. We're going to call it a Pro. And then, you just take it. You're going to buy it anyway. That's how people feel about Apple, like they're pompous and arrogant. But I think Apple has mastered the art. And I'm not going to call people sheep or anything like that, but some people are brainwashed into thinking that Apple is the best. But it's just
they were so excited to get ports.
I know.
Us in the PC community are laughing so hard. I've never seen people excited about ports in my life.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
But I think I like to give credit where credit is. I think Apple they've done a great job at mastering that, and that's where I think companies should take a few hints from. So let me read what T says here. He says, "How do you feel about the intro price of the 5A versus the Pixel 6?" I'm gonna tell people. First of all, did anybody else get the $65 off or the $70 coupon off for the 5A? Did anybody else get that? Anybody in the bonus team?
Because my 5A came from Team Pixel.
No, I know, but now they're offering, they sent out an exclusive offer that I could buy one for $70 off. I want to know if any other people got that in the chat. It was like 380 people in here at some point. By the way, I appreciate you guys coming through. We're at 1 hour right now. And I just want to say, if you're just joining in, got my man BW1 on tonight. Anthony Knight Tech is in the house. My Project 13, he couldn't make it. He had some things going on. But we are discussing, obviously, what I consider the king of phones at the moment. And I think that terminology is going to get under some people's skin. But there's a reason why I'm saying that, because I have a lot more phones, and everybody in this stream probably, and on the stream, probably has a lot more phones than the average consumer. So, like B-Dub was saying earlier,
trying to get rid of some of these things.
I know, right?
There's an instance where you start to not answer emails.
Exactly. So, like B-Dub was saying earlier, not everybody even knows about OnePlus. The tech world knows about OnePlus, man. That's how it works. So Google has done a fantastic job. Like somebody said earlier, this is the most marketing I've seen them do. And there's a reason for that. They know that people are going to buy the Pixel 6. The Pro line really, I think, is more tech nerds or techies, and that's a compliment, by the way, are going to buy the Pro line. The 6 is your way out. I always tell people you have a way out, and companies will give it to you. You just got to decide to take it. And technically, this 5A is still a way out, and the 4A is still a way out. But as far as this question with the Pixel 6 and the 5A, I don't think they're priced too close. I think the Pixel 6 is a flagship, considered a flagship device. So if you're going to separate them, I think this is still their mid-tier device. They're still available. I think the price is fair. But they were sending out coupons. I got a coupon saying I can get another $70 off. So if somebody wants to buy one of these, you can have my coupon, I guess, $70 off, whatever it is, because obviously I already have one. But I think the price of $499, that's a legitimate question. It may seem like it's kind of close. I mean, T, do you think that's too close? I mean, I think that's a fair price still, $450. It's just that because the Pixel 6 is $600, so that's a huge gap.
That's a huge jump.
Yeah, that's a $150 jump, and most people, what I'm saying, they might not want to, they might not want to pay extra $150. But now the flip side of that is that may be $150, but you are getting so much more for that $150. So I understand if that's where T's going. I understand why he's asking that, because that is, to me, it's totally worth going up to the Pixel 6 from the Pixel 5A. You're getting so much more for $150. You're getting a gang more for $150. So if a person walks up to me and says, "Hey, I got $600, or I've got $580," I'm gonna hand them $20 and say, "Here you go. You got to cover your own tax. Get the Pixel 6. Get the Pixel 6 because you'll thank yourself." What's going on, Ivan? Yeah. Let me see what T says here. He says, it's weird because the 5A offers a lot and doesn't need to be cheaper. Yeah, it shows how you... Yeah, I mean, Google really, really, really thought this through, and I can't stress enough that they pretty much learned from their mistakes. Google made some mistakes over the past about 3 years back. Or 4, I think it was about 3 or 4 years back with their phone pricing, and they jumped into the arena with the pricing of the Pixel 4 XL and Pixel 4. People was like, "This is a joke." But now, what do you say?
Oh, what you will hear is that it's not flagship pricing.
Yeah, that's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. It was
can't wait till you start hearing more of that.
Yeah, it was people saying, wasn't some people muttering their price too low? That's the dumbest thing.
But that was what was muttered prior, before they raised their prices when the Pixel 4 came out. This was literally the complaint. And I was like, well, now that you have to match,
how you complain about the price being too low? Like, give us more, lower the price. The price is too low.
Mm-hmm.
Man, people, you can't please everybody, man.
I think it's just a perception thing. It's a silly perception of, well, things have to look like this price in comparison to that. And I think this was back then. If it looked a little bit too cheaper, people were like, well, why is it $100 cheaper? It's not. Why is it cheaper than the iPhone? It must be less. It must be less quality. And that's kind of where I think that perception idea comes from. Now that people are seeing and complaining more about paying $1,200 for a phone, I think a lot of people are getting a little bit more like, oh, okay. Unnecessary. Like, I think an $899 phone sounds like a pretty good thing right now.
Y'all want to tackle this question? I know it's addressed to me, but I say yay. I say get rid of the S21 Ultra.
Selling S21 Ultra and purchasing Pixel 6 at price while
I say go for it.
You know what? I'll be fair, and I won't say go for it just yet, just because I don't have it in my hands to really give you the accurate things.
But give them just a snippet.
As somebody that is a huge Samsung fan, especially because I've used pretty much every Note and things like that.
I know you are.
I'm pretty sure that camera's pissed you off enough with its inconsistencies that it's worth selling off. Like, and I've never, ever since they've switched to whatever their ISO stuff has been, and they went to this large sensor, there has just been this inconsistency with the cameras, and it's been going on for a while, and it's the thing. It's very much like you can get a ton of great photos, and then you struggle to get some photo here, and then especially with the unwanted bokeh that shows up in your photos because of the large sensor that happened.
You got to go into promo to get rid of that. You have to go into promo to get rid of that portrait.
And then let me carry, like, let's say I'm going out, and I like to take pictures of like at different restaurants and stuff like that, because I also post photos and do little Google reviews from time to time. And I started doing that, and it gets a lot of views. It's like 280,000 views or something now on some of the combining all the photos. So I'll take pictures and I'll compare what I do between this and what I do between this pixel, and I go look at the pixel. And I'm like, why are you much more consistent? It's just much more consistent at giving me the photo that I want at that time.
I think this is a good analogy. It's always good because sometimes people try to use price as a failure. It's cheap because it doesn't cost a lot. But I think that's a horrible mindset. And the programming of people who believe $700 is cheap, I think marketing 101, you've just been convinced. You've been brainwashed. So
I think I like what T's saying here.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said I agree. I like what he's saying. I agree with that.
That is the fault of us in the tech community.
It is
because we thought that, well, if it costs more, it must mean more, and because Samsung was always undercutting Apple for a long time in the very beginning with their phones by $100 to $200 less than what an iPhone at the time would cost in comparison. But the problem came a lot of times was that, well, why is it cheaper? Why it must be less than or not as high as quality as the other phones. This is what turned into, well, it's not made out of metal and glass. It's made out of plastic. Like, why did we care about this? Like, I to this day, I don't get we cared that our phones are made out of glass and metal.
I know.
Protect them with, I'm going to be nice because I like sponsors and I like getting cases, like with a piece of plastic.
Yep.
Just remember, you protect that phone with a piece of plastic.
Correct.
And
sure do.
And we craved and we pushed and we and I'm not out of a problem with cases. I think cases are actually a pretty cool thing to have, not just for protection, but sometimes for style and make your phone or make everything look a little bit differently. Trust me, my Moto V60 days, way back when, the number of customizations I did to that was nuts. But I do think there's a place for those sort of things. But I'd rather pay a little bit less and get myself a really durable phones like the Nokia was back in the day, and have that durable plastic. I don't think there's a problem with it. But it started that narrative roughly around the iPhone 4 time of this whole idea of things have to be glass and metal, even though you saw everyone with an iPhone with a broken black on every single one because they dropped it because they refused to use Gorilla Glass. And it's Sapphire or whatever nonsense. We haven't heard that name in forever now since they got the glass. It kills me to think that why we complain about the pricings being so high. It's because we would ask for these things, but we didn't want to pay the price for asking what these things are. But we complained if the value didn't seem that way. We had a very weird mixed messaging, and it's kind of turned into what we see to the smartphone pricing today.
Grant, BW, Grant likes tech. He says this all the time, and I don't think people hear him. He says, everybody keeps begging for all these high specs, but when it comes down to it, you don't want to pay for them. Everybody seems to want these very expensive phones for a low cost, and they want the phones to be loaded. Now, what do you say? Google technically just loaded it up, folks. They gave you what's missing from the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Let's talk about that. What do you think is missing? Just based on what you see.
What? What's missing? 4K screen up.
It's not. It doesn't record in 8K.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't record in 8K.
Where's my 8K recording that I'm never going to use?
Something that nobody even uses.
I wish these cell phone manufacturers stop putting 8K in these phones, man. Ain't nobody.
They pretty much. It's there because the sensor can do it.
I don't care about it.
You guys, and this question is for the panel and is for everybody in the chat. Again, I appreciate the love that for you guys hanging out with what we're doing today on Tuesdays, man. I appreciate it. 8K is very useless, but here's Night Tech. Tackle this, man. Tackle this real quick. As someone who has never had a
nothing.
Do you think I should trade my Note 20
I can think of?
Well, I'm a Note 20 user right now, a Note 20 Ultra user, so I might be a little bit more tailored to answer this question.
That's what
I'm about to say, man. I'm the wrong person to ask. I just sold my Fold 3 and purchased a Pixel.
So Monique, okay, I think I can answer this question for you because you're probably in the position that you're agitated because Samsung didn't release a Note for us anymore. And when you're Note fans,
take out the bias.
When you're a Note fan, you typically are going to get next year's Note, or you might wait another year depending upon what it is. But you know there's a Note out there, and you know your phone is there. And Samsung decided not to give that to you anymore. They're going to do something silly with the Galaxy S Note line, whatever the case may be. Nobody cares. They're doing something silly. I would say wait till you see reviews out and try to target those that are known Note 20 users, people that have known to use a Note before. And I think you'll get a better sort of impression of that. I know I'm looking at this as it comes in 15 pixels. I'm thinking, well, will I put my main SIM in this phone after I test out for a little while? Will I make my switch over from the Note 20 over to the Pixel 6 Pro? Much of that's going to be determined on the software differences as well too, because you probably get used to a lot of the features that are in One UI that are really good that aren't quite in Pixel UI. One of those things, I love using folders in the app drawer, and it doesn't have that for some reason in inside the Pixel stuff. So those are little things like that I'd have to see the differences on, but I would definitely hold off on that. Don't trade it in. Don't trade your Note 20 in. I would tell you to sell that before you trade it in, because
they're not going to give you enough.
Yeah. You're going to get way more on the resale market.
By the way,
there.
Everyone in here, go ahead and post $1, just $1 super chat in this stream. Would greatly appreciate it, so I can pay these panel members. So Steve, Free Steve put up 5 $1 super chats. So I appreciate him taking care of us. But appreciate it though on the real. He says he wished that more people are excited about the Motorola Max. So I think really what it is, man, is that
Motorola's marketing
they're in different arenas as far as the attention that they're trying to get. Free Steve, and that's ultimately what it is. Those are great phones, more than likely. The Motorola Max 2 these are great phones, but it comes down to your marketing, and I guess that comes down to Google has done a lot of work marketing this device. And
you got to talk to Lenovo about that with Motorola.
Yeah, because Google pretty much, they put in the work, man. They put in the work. Barry Johnson says Google shut it down when they originally leaked the photos. Yeah, Google had over 200,000 in their chat today. That is just incredible right there. They had 200,000.
And people said it was a mistake for them leaking things. The minute they put that tweet out where they said, "Oh, here's the Pixel 6 right here," I was like, "Oh, I got it immediately." What they were doing.
Here we go.
I get it. I get it.
That's correct.
They're doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. It made sense.
That's correct.
It made a lot of sense.
Yeah, this in 1980, you're right. The Pixel 6 would be more than enough for even the tech enthusiasts out there. It's enough.
Yeah.
But there's always that little extra.
90% you could fit this 5A, to be honest with you. 90% you could fit this 5A, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It's 5A.
A lot of you can.
Mm-hmm.
Your ego won't let you do it, but most of you can.
Yeah. So I think I saw another super chat down here. Appreciate it. I think I saw Big House on the super chat. Yeah, here it is. Appreciate the super chat from my man Big House. You already know. Man, I think if you're going to go for a device, really, when you bring up the 5A and versus the 6, the 6 obviously on paper and physically to me is better than the 5A. Like the hardware is better on the 6. The 6 is hard. The 6's hardware is ridiculous compared to the 5A because this is kind of like last year's generation or just the previous models types of hardware. But this is still good to me. I like this, man. I was one of those few who liked the Pixel 4 and 4 XL's hardware. A lot of people didn't like it. They said it was ugly. You know what I'm saying? So it's about personal preference, though.
I thought power-wise it was good. Like the specs itself were good. I thought it looked a little ugly in the way they did the forehead a little bit. I was like, you guys might want to like...
Right. Right.
Chop that a little. I don't think people care about that radar as much as you think, bro.
Yeah. That LiDAR stuff or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the significance of this banana peel for this super chat, but I'll look at that in a positive light. Just based on the history of that with my people, it's come across as kind of a slur, but I'm not going to take it that way. But I appreciate the $1.50. Bump that up to about 150, and it would be good to go. Here's something right here from Michael. He says, I usually turn off Quad HD on my Note 9. To improve battery life, that is one of the reasons I was okay with the Pixel 6 versus the Pixel 6 Pro. So it's for me, I try to avoid turning off the things that drew me to the device. Now I'll turn off some stuff like to sync that I have like 6 emails, so I'll turn off, calendar. I get some tweaks on that for the Z Flip 3 on how to get more battery out of it because I get like a day and a half out of this thing. I'm just doing some small little tweaks, but I don't know that I would want to turn off Quad HD display, but to each his own. You know what I'm saying? But the Note 9 also wasn't the best on battery. It was good at best, in my experience.
I don't know.
Note 9.
For some reason, anytime I turn off like Quad HD, like when I had the OnePlus 17 Pro McLaren, I felt like it didn't even help. I felt like the battery still drained the same amount. I don't know.
For me, screen has never been the problem for me when it came to battery and battery drain. There's never been a difference for me in that. I really think what happens with a lot of people in terms of battery drain has more to do with your cell service and where you're located.
That's something that people forget, don't they? Don't people forget that the searching of a signal kills your battery?
I just had to do jury duty yesterday. Mm-hmm. Luckily, 5 cases, they all pleaded, and we got out of there by 12. It was a miracle. I consider that a lottery ticket, getting out of there without having to do nothing. But I noticed when I was in the courthouse that my battery drained much faster. Even though I had a 5G signal and that signal coming in, it was draining faster than it was when I stepped out and I was anywhere else. I was like, wow, I'm like losing. I'm seeing it lose points, drop like that. I'm like, yo, I don't have that happen when I'm anywhere else. So that just really reminded me again. I was like, oh, wait a minute, yo, it really depends upon where you are. And if you're in a location with bad cell service, that's going to hit you harder than anything else.
So tackle this. And I got a question for y'all, because I like this comment, and we kind of touched on this earlier, but do you think, as you look at this comment from this person, which I think is fantastic, from Dory Smith, but do you think, because again, my old Apple devices are still getting current software. Do you think Google just kind of threw that out there for right now? Because BW, you touched on this earlier. Do you think they just kind of gave themselves some cushion that they really could do 10 years? But once you start to do that to your consumers, they won't buy your products. They'll start holding on longer. You know what I'm saying? Because there are people out there that just keep the same. I know people with iPhone 4s.
I think they do that because of what they just saw Apple had to go through with the whole de-throttling and doing all the other stuff. Like, if they could get away with doing that, they would probably have done something very similar, try to give you the same operating system, but decrease your performance to be able to do so. I mean, you see what Microsoft's dealing with Windows 11 now. Now they released it, and there's literally their own registry hack to get around their TPM requirements. Man. But they're of a foolishness, really foolishness. Right. But 5 years of updates to me is a solid number. That means if you buy 2 phones
Yep.
at let's say we'll go with the base Pixel price of $600, you spend $1,200 on phones that last you 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's about how much a year that you spent on your phone?
Nothing.
Maybe $110 a year,
Yeah.
$120, somewhere around there. I mean, that's and imagine you probably traded in to get some credits to go along with it, so that price even drops even lower. So I do like that. I prefer them to say you're going to get the next 3 versions of Android OS, which has always been their policy, and give you 5 years of specifically security updates. I think that's perfectly fine because I think it's more important that your device is secure over giving you a guarantee that the software is going to continue to you get the newest software updates, because probably by that point your hardware is outdated for whatever new software is going to be coming out. You won't get many of the new features to begin with anyways.
Right.
The way they do the Pixel feature drops, you'll probably get some of those things piecemeal to you anyways.
Right.
Outside of that whole thing. So I think it just makes sense. I mean, I just had my Acer Pixel book, which I reviewed a long time ago, finally get its last update.
Oh, you have the other Pixel book?
No, I have the Acer Chromebook, so I'm not Pixel.
Okay, because my Pixel book Go, it gets so many updates, man. It is it's running like brand new. Chrome OS is absolutely fantastic. I have a Pixel book Go, and I bought the Pixel Slate, and I gave that to my daughter. She loves it. I had the pen, the case, I had everything. She loves that thing. But the Pixelbook Go, that's the one. So I think they probably could do. My thoughts on that is I think they probably could do longer, but you don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to. You want sales. You're in this because you want to make some money as a company. And if you
could do longer, but I think the problem is predicting where's your hardware going to be at in 5 years, and trying to say where that's going to be.
Right.
And, even Apple has bit themselves in the butt about doing it. Like they really kind of have. Because a device that's on iOS 15 with which I think, how far does it go back?
There's people with iPhone 6s that have it, I believe.
Yeah. Like, what new are you getting?
Yeah. No.
Out of that thing, other than a bunch of security updates at best.
That doesn't mean that it's running fast. I showed it on my 7-year-old tablet, and it's definitely. It's new software running on old hardwares. You see what I'm saying? So it's not as speedy or whatever. But
not as speedy. It's slowing down. You got to think about within those 5 years, your battery capacity is probably down significantly. Like I could tell you right now, when I checked my I have we'll do this on a laptop because I can show you that. I can at least talk about it. And I'm going to do a video about it too.
Right.
I have an Acer ZenBook Pro I bought 5 years ago. VX501 VW. You can look it up. It's 4K screen, PCI Express drive, NVMe drive, 16 gigs, a true quad-core processor in it, top of the line stuff. I go, so let me check my Windows thing to see if I can get Windows 11. Says my thing's not supported because of the processor.
Yeah.
And I just like, really? No. But one thing it did, I want to get into what I really meant to talk about with that. It did scan my battery capacity, and my battery after 5 years is at 67% of its health.
Oh, wow. But you can get a new battery if you wanted to.
Which I'm planning to probably flip it with a new battery, get a new keyboard and some more stuff. But I'm getting a whole new system anyways because I need something more powerful now than what I currently have. But I just wanted to talk about that. Huh?
Hey, I had to ask, like? Man. I had to ask, man.
Do I look like I get excited? I got ports.
No.
I got 4 ports.
I'm not excited about the ports.
I'm happy they gave an HDMI, an actual HDMI slot. I never thought they would do that one.
They brought the ports back, is what they did. I'm happy about the guts. I bought me a Pro. I have all M1 stuff pretty much. I have the MacBook Air M1, the Mac Mini M1. So I was waiting on this. I thought it was going to be a Mac Mini M1 Pro, but it's not. So I'm considering ditching my Mac Mini and replacing that. I bought the MacBook Pro M1 already. I got that. It'll be here next Monday or something like that. I was able to get my order in right away. Huh?
For $3,500, you didn't get the max.
No. I mean, dude, on the side note from Google, I get a huge government discount. You know, I'm just a war vet, retired also, so I get a big discount on Apple products, which is why I buy them so freely. You know, I'm making pretty good money on YouTube. So
and I think Samsung has one, I think, as well for you guys.
I get a military discount on Samsung too, but it's nowhere near as much as Apple, man. I get a government discount for Apple and my military, but I get a military on Samsung. So
does that include National Guard folks as well too?
You have to verify yourself. I've been verified.
I want to tell my cousin about that because he's in National Guard. I got family in the military. I was almost in the military. I only did like junior ROTC and like 1 year of college.
Yeah. Well, no problem. Let me get to some of these super chats in here too, man. I appreciate you. A lot of your comments want to get to this too. So, issue with the single piece of glass on the back. He's asking. This person's asking. David says, "Do we have an issue with that?"
Yeah, because it cracks and breaks all the time. Yeah, it scratches up, and you got to use a $2 piece of plastic to protect it. If you don't see the meme in that, the legitimate meme in that whole thought process, you're spending $1,000 on something that has this beautiful back glass on it that you're going to put the equivalent of what costs $2.
Yeah.
Of plastic to protect that so it doesn't scratch.
That's why when I spend $1,000, I spend another $60 on something that's actually going to protect. People laugh at me for buying outer boxes, but outer boxes protect your device.
$60 retail price.
Yeah, I know.
$3. Hey, look, I'm talking about the real price.
$3 to make this. It's about what, $3 or so? You think maybe $3? $3 to make it, probably. Yeah.
I wish I'd have gotten that myself. I really do.
Man, he's gonna kill me. I still have not. He's paid for my Intel Wild has paid for my wireless charger probably 2 times over, man. I keep saying I'm gonna get it. I need to. Man, I apologize. I need to make that happen. I really do, because I use my OnePlus 9 Pro like regularly. Only thing I dislike about the OnePlus 9 Pro is the cameras. The cameras suck. Like they're just no comparison.
Well, nothing happened with the Hasselblad thing.
Okay, so I do like the X Pan. But did you guys know that so I have an unlocked OnePlus 9, and then I have a carrier unlocked OnePlus 9 Pro, because I got more money on the trade to buy my Pro through my carrier. I got it for half off. So I said, that makes sense. I couldn't get that much money on the trade to buy through OnePlus. So I have the original unlocked OnePlus 9. I have the X Pan on there, but I have a carrier unlocked version of the OnePlus 9 Pro, which I use regularly. It did not get the X Pan update. For some reason, they didn't give X Pan to my carrier version, but they gave it to my unlocked version. That really upset me. But the X Pan is really cool. I like that. But other than that, I don't like the video cameras on OnePlus. Their cameras have always been garbage to me. I shouldn't say garbage. They need work, is what I'll say. OnePlus's cameras.
That's always been a comment of OnePlus.
Work badly. I mean, they need work really bad, man. OnePlus cameras need work. So, B, I got to get your thoughts on. Let me go back to it, because I want to ask you direct, and for the chat too. I want to hear you guys' thoughts too. What do you consider fair value to consumer? Now, if you're just joining in, you heard me say earlier, hey, I think the Pixel 6 devices, especially the Pixel 6, is real value to the consumer. And I think they just pretty much crushed the entire Android game, and possibly Apple. If those video cameras come up to speed and the processing power is there and the performance is there, they just killed the entire smartphone game with the hardware, everything. So now it's not like innovation when it comes to my flip joints. You know, I love the Z Flip 3. It's one of the best phones ever. But I think overall as a package, they just slaughtered the entire smartphone game. But can you honestly say that this is extreme value for the consumers? I say yes.
I think this is good value at the price. This is probably the pinnacle of what a standard candy bar slab phone that we have out in terms of specs that matter in general, including everything you need and not putting things in that you don't necessarily need, and giving it a welcome to fair price. I think it is fair in that regards. And I think, like, Yeah, I mean, I think in that space, I think it's a fair value because there's too many of these companies that'll offer the same stuff and want to charge $1,100 for it,
Yeah, you already
and
know.
or $1,200 for it,
You already know.
and I'm like, and you got to think about it. This is going to be a lot of people that are going to trade in their old phone,
Oh yeah.
even if they're not going to do like on the resale market. A lot of people don't like to do that. They just like to go
Yeah.
into the trade in and make it easy. You're knocking anywhere from probably $100, $300 off of this. So people are going to probably be paying, probably for Pixel 6 itself, probably in the ranges between mostly $300 to $500, probably somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And probably folks that are buying the 6 Pro are probably going to be mostly in the $500 to probably $800 range
Right.
for what they're paying. So you're getting all that, and you're getting flagship everything along with that. Because we have to consider this Google Tensor processor, whatever, it rings. We don't know where
My
it
only
rings
concern.
yet.
That's my only concern is if the chip fails, man, the phone fails.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they're confident about this chip. And this isn't a chip this isn't like with Microsoft when they made the SQ1 processor and it was kind of an untested thing that they just dropped out there. It's not a bad processor. It's just that it's early for what they're trying to do. But that's also was made by Qualcomm. So that was kind of a combination. This is something that they have in-house themselves.
Yep.
Tensor is a thing they've developed. They've been at it for about 5 years. So they've been developing their own effectively silicon for probably as long as Apple's been doing it.
Right.
And
say it again because people don't believe you. I don't think people believe that.
And what I think is interesting is if this phone does well with it, what are they going to do next with their Pixel books and their tablets with this same chip?
Oh man!
Now they get into a space
can bring
of
a tablet back. You're right.
They, and if you decide to bring a tablet back, Google, you need to actually support it. You need to actually support it in the ecosystem. Like if they're actually going to bring tablets to the market and do something with it, they need to support it. But I'm looking at that line of saying, okay, this one comes out, and then now suddenly we see the 6A release with a Tensor chip inside of it. We start to see the Pixel Book and the Pixel Book Go come with a Tensor chip inside of it. They come with a Pixel tablet, whatever the name of the Pixel tablet.
Right.
The last tablet was like the Nexus 7 or something like that, or whatever whatever was before that. I can't remember the name of it, but they come out that with their chip inside of it as well too. I think they could get somewhere with this where you're in Google's ecosystem and they have these great chips and everything kind of go along with it for those people that like the Chromebooks that need that lightweight sort of build. Because I think they really need to stop trying to call Pixel Books a powerhouse machine. It's bro, it doesn't edit video. Stop.
OS doesn't need an i9. It doesn't need all that.
No, it doesn't need all that stuff. And it's like, no one's editing video and doing all this stuff. Bro, this is a browser. We know it's a glorified browser.
You cold,
I actually have in possession. I have in my possession the original CR48 Chromebook. I was in that program.
You choke over here. You said this is a browser, okay?
It is a glorified browser. That's what it was on that thing.
It is.
I had the CR48, the original when they first delivered out Chromebooks. So
crazy, man.
It is a glorified browser that they put a little bar at the bottom of it. I get it. And I get the thought processes, and you can add Android apps and things like that to it.
So,
but they need to think about that for a second and kind of go, what are we offering to our user base? Who is our ideal user? Because you're not going to get everyone, and you're not going to get the traditional PC market space because you have Windows and Mac on that side, and those people are entrenched with what they have. They're in that ecosystem. So who do you target that you're going to get a niche? It's going to be niche. Because and you're gonna have more people with phones than you're gonna have with anything else.
That's correct.
But what can you do that can offer them something that they look for? Like, I personally think they should look to try and make something like a Surface product with a Pixel tablet and market it as, hey, here's the keyboard. package it with the damn keyboard. Don't sell it separate like
Don't do
Microsoft
it separately.
But give people that tablet and give people. You can sell the pen separately. Nobody cares. But like you can put the tablet and the keyboard together, and you can kind of do your thing, or you can just use it as a tablet whenever you want to do that, and have that ability that pairs with your phone. So for those folks that they don't do a lot of heavy things. Maybe they just like to web browse. They're typing up. They want to go to Starbucks to pretend they're working on their great novel or whatever they're going to be doing with it. Make sure you put a big ass G logo on the back of it that glows.
You want to pretend like they're doing it. So I want to show you something. I want you to break this down for the users, and then I want you to, because I like how you analyze things. So let's run through this. I want to show you this. I got it. I'm about to share it here with the stream. Now, if you hung in there this long, folks, and this is about how long we stream. I normally go for about 2 hours, but I'm going to close out at this point.
Oh,
my wife is going to be rolling up pretty soon. But I want to look at this. I want B-Dub to look at this because I kind of scanned over it and I was like, this is a really cool. There's my wife right there.
Bring that. Just before we get to that, bring Michael Corcoran. Samsung's also building an ecosystem and proprietary and all this other stuff. They don't own any of the software themselves. So any attempt to do this, they can't, because they don't own the Android ecosystem to say that they can do their own software, and they don't own Windows, and they rely on both of those for any of the devices to sell, because the only thing Tyson's going to be good for is to put in the TVs and the printers. Other than that, in a watch, they can't. This is a non-starter for them. Until they own an operating system. Like they can't do what Google, Apple, and Microsoft can do. No, they can't.
They're not ready.
And trust me, they'd love to. They'd love to.
Yeah. So before we get out here, I want to get Big Dub's thoughts on this. I'm going to share the screen with the stream too. I want you to get your thoughts on here because this is important, because we all know that everyone's going to be comparing this to when it comes to Apple. Since Samsung hasn't officially, they brought out.
We're gonna have a million of these videos, by the way, out. Google put Apple 13 Pro Max battle for YouTube SEO and
Samsung's event is tomorrow, right? It's tomorrow, right?
Yep.
So it's tomorrow. So Samsung, the only thing Samsung has is the S21 Ultra, right, and the Z Fold 3. As far as the 21 Ultra or the Note 20 Ultra, are the ones that I would normally put next to this. But Samsung's latest phone is not in this category yet. So I want to look at this. I want you to look at this side by side and look at, because everybody's going to want to compare this to the Pro Max. So you just look at how this is coming about here. And this goes back to me talking about value to consumer. It's not about the operating systems. Forget that, because people are going to say, oh, you can't I don't know why people feel like you can't compare Android and Apple or whatever. You can compare whatever you want to compare. I like both operating systems. But when you just look at pure down-the-line specs side by side, this is where Google pretty much, as long as the chip works, they've shut down everybody. So you got the 6 Pro, and some of these things we can fill in the blank because we know for some reason Phone Scoop isn't filling in these blanks. But look at the display, and you look at the screens and everything. You can see the difference here. They're both 120. And Apple's phone is a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I don't know why they don't have it listed here, but Apple, no, it's 4352. That's what it is.
I'll try to add it on. I think I'll do GSM Arena just on the side here as we go through that.
I got GSM Arena. You know what? I'm going to load up GSM Arena because I put GSM Arena on there, but I like Phone Scoop for some reason. I like how they do it. But here's GSM Arena.
Phone Scoop's OG.
I know, yeah. I already had it loaded up here on GSM Arena. So, because I like the way Phone Scoop's presentation is.
Yeah, I like their presentation better.
Yeah, this is just cluttered right here. There's a bunch of stuff on here.
It's just copying the press release.
Yeah, that's what it is. So starting out, $899 versus $1099. That's what, $200 difference.
About $200 difference right there, definitely.
128 gigs, 12 gigs versus 6 gigs. Okay. And, that's going to go in line with them both having their own chip. That's why I said the chip just has to work on Google, and they got it made. They're going to shut down everybody. So then you get
water ratings. I don't know why they didn't list Google Pay on here. They should have.
It's weird. But, they both have IP68, Nano SIM. You got Gorilla Glass and Invictus on here.
Aren't they both using Gorilla Glass now?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, the
Yeah,
iPhone has
I know Apple
Gorilla
doesn't
Glass.
want to admit that they suck at making
No,
glass.
it's Gorilla Glass. It's Gorilla
Yeah.
Glass. Now, one big difference you see here is the stainless steel frame with the glass back versus the glass back and aluminum frame. That's a big difference there. So
Yeah.
that alone does cut the price a little bit, does it not?
It does cut the price down when you
Yeah, that cuts
go
the
in
price,
steel
and
to
that's how Google's
aluminum. Yeah.
able. Exactly. So Google's able to squeeze a little bit more out of that. But then you got
And
the
Google
actual
also
CA.
realizes people are going to use a case.
Exactly.
They know.
So you have this 120 hertz HDR10 display over here, and then you have 120 hertz HDR10 display over here. Apple just likes to put all this other stuff in the front right here to make it sound good. That's how they do. That's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, they're both using HD. I get the Dolby Vision thing, but understand with the Dolby Vision stuff, you're only going to be able to see that on other Dolby Vision enabled devices. So other Apple devices support that. If you're watching in the end of the day, majority of people are going to be watching stuff in HDR10. If you're looking at anything in HDR10, because it's the most compatible and it's also open source.
Yeah, that's what it is. So then you get here to the display size and everything, and again, these are so close.
I'm looking at this here. Is video not capturing in HDR on the Google 6 Pro? That's going to be interesting to check. Photos it is, but video it doesn't say.
I think they probably do HDR. It says auto
They got to
HDR.
do. Actually, because the other phones do HDR10, and because it's licensed, they got to do it.
Yeah, and they have pixel shift and everything. So that's why I don't really go to GS Marina too much, because I've noticed things on here that just aren't there. And it's like, wait a minute.
Here we go down to the battery, which is 5,003 versus 4,352 on the battery size. But again, they're running separate operating systems with different ideals. So I don't like to compare that because it's two different thought processes. They both support
small things like the Wi-Fi. Google's has the upgraded Wi-Fi. You see that right there?
Yeah. What are they using? Wi-Fi 6?
They're using the enhanced 6.
Enhanced.
That's all it is.
Okay.
And then they also have 5.2 versus 5.0. Because 5.0 has been out for how long now?
Yeah, it's been out for a while. 5.2.
A long time. So
with
Google
aptX,
now has 5.2.
with aptX HD too. That's pretty good because if you get Sony headphones, they usually support that.
My iPhone supports aptX when I'm using my $400 earbuds. It shows up as aptX.
Okay, so they do use. Okay. It's just not marked here.
My iPhone show aptX when I'm using my earbuds.
Here's the big problem. I don't know if you can circle that. Go into the USB side.
Oh man, I already know.
That to this day, come on,
look here. Look, USB power delivery 2.0. This is old right here, man.
They're faking the funk with it though. Like it's like, yeah, you can kind of make your lightning port.
Look at this right here. Here's something that people won't point out. Look at this. 7.5 wireless charging, 23.
And they didn't announce the new stand that was supposed to come with this.
It's coming soon, and the leather case is coming soon too.
Okay.
The leather case and the stand are both coming soon. But look at this right here. 30 watts, 27 watts, 50% in 30 minutes, 50% in 30 minutes. This fast charging at 23, why didn't they highlight that? Like all of theirs, the highest they can do is 15.
Yeah.
Weird. The 2 point, they should have been high. They don't need to compare to Apple, but they just need to point these things out. Something as basic as this 3.1 Type C.
Wait, do you actually get a charger?
I don't think you get you don't get a brick in the cable, but you get the cable. You don't get a brick in the box, but you get the cable.
Still to this day. Why?
Oh, look at this, man. I didn't even notice this. Dual band AGPS.
Oh.
Those little tidbits like that, those little sneaky things that are in there.
That's going to make it strong for GPS tracking.
Exactly.
And much more accurate.
Exactly.
Especially if you're somebody, I use Google Maps all the time.
You and me both.
All the time.
But I gotta be fair though. Apple Maps just got an update, bro, and it is good.
So they're not. It's no longer steering you into an ocean instead into a river now.
Apple Maps got an update, and it is good, man. I got to give it up. Apple Maps is good. So, but I use Google Maps by default. But when I get in my other car, daily, I have the iPhone link there, and
It makes
it
sense to use the
defaults
Apple Maps
to.
with it, yeah. If it already
Yeah, I
syncing with
mean, I
it,
have GPS in my car, but I don't like the interface.
yeah.
I don't like the interface of my maps in my car, so I'll turn on the whatever phone I'm using,
Actually,
and it just happened to be the Apple Maps last time I got in there, and Apple Maps got a huge upgrade, man. It is totally accurate. I mean,
actually,
it's picking up all of the back roads and county roads now.
wow. Actually, I
It is.
just got used to I was just out in California about a month ago and I had to do some driving around, and the car that I was in actually supported Android Auto in it. So that was like
Oh,
the first
word.
time I was able to use that with my phone. I plugged in my phone directly and just let it roll, and I was like, wow, this is actually really good and
Yes, sir.
useful. It was actually like I like this better than in whatever this in panel navigation thing. No,
Yeah,
I can't ever stand those things. But me being able to connect my phone, my stuff just pops up right there on the screen, laid out very well, and I'm like,
yes,
Google, don't give
sir.
up on this Android Auto. This is some good stuff right here. It's some real good stuff. I was like,
All right, man. So look here. This was amazing. It's still over 200 people in here, but folks, I do have to go. My wife is, it's 4 o'clock Central Standard Time. We got to eat dinner. You know what I'm saying? Get our time together. We got to do the family thing. So please go do that. Go hug you, whoever you want to hug. Have some time away from the tech stuff, and then come back and do it again tomorrow. We got Samsung event tomorrow, so I'll probably live stream tomorrow too. So the Samsung event is tomorrow, and after that we got the Sony event. So I will probably go ahead.
that Sony event.
That's gonna be.
I
That's
would
gonna
have
be
been trying to
interesting.
spend that type of money so soon, man. I got a laptop I got to buy, and I'm seeing that I got an A7 III. I just bought an A7C, and now I'm looking
The
at the
A7
A7
IV
IV.
is still $1999 though, right?
What, the A7 III?
The A7 IV is going to be $1999.
Yeah, I think I heard it was between 2,000 and
Yeah, because the
2,500.
A7 III is on sale, and the A7C is the one that people need to start looking at. That A7C is
I'm
no joke.
using it right now.
I bet you are.
This is one of the.
That A7C
This is
is
a
no
great
joke.
secondary. If you need 2 cameras, this is like the compactness of this thing is really good for travel, full frame. It pretty much does everything. But I will say, if you want to use heavier lenses, I would definitely suggest getting something like a 3 or probably this 4, because the weight's gonna be better.
All right, so I want to say this before I get out of here. I do have time. I just got, you know how I gotta get my vegetables in, got to take my medicine, give me a little water. I'm sipping on my water. But this is, I'm gonna make time to come over there. So there was like almost 400 people in here, and I know people have to go, but there's 248 people in here. And Barry, go ahead and post the link to that stream, because I want to see 248 people over there at 6 p.m. tonight. I want to see people at 6 p.m. I want to see those 240 people go over there and hang with us over there for a minute, because it is Tuesday. Gigi streams after me. She streams at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, or I think, my time, 6 o'clock. So it's 2 hours from now. But Barry, go ahead and post that link. And I want to see all 200 and some of your people over there kicking it with us over there on Tuesday evenings. I'll try to make time to come through there as well. But man, B-Dub, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. I'm telling you, I love your commentary, man. I like that. In order to have a live stream, folks, you have to have someone that's not going to agree with everything. And I hate having streams where, I'm not saying this happens all the time, but I'm just saying you got to have a balance. And the right crew, man, if he had more time, we could have a really good mixed balance, because my Project 13, not Anthony, Night Tech. Night Tech battery died, by the way, folks, on his laptop, so he said he had to go. He said, peace out. But having a good balance on the stream is important, So, hey, I'm just going to keep doing it. And if he can make it, I love having him on every time. But you know me, I'll roll solo for 2 or 3 hours. I don't care. I like to have the conversation. I'll start taking phone calls. We have a good time. So
always a good time in here, man. Good discussion.
Yeah, it's gonna start. Barry posted the link, so save that link if you want to come hang out over there on Gigi's stream. And it's gonna be 6. Is that Central Standard Time? Central Standard Time, Barry. And it's 6 p.m. my time for this link right here, I believe. So 2 hours from now. So it's gonna be a little bit shorter stream this time. So I think she's only going to roll for 30 to 45 minutes, because there's another meeting for Team Pixel after that. But nonetheless, kick it over there. If you got time to hang with your man Jay, I love to share the love. It's too much space out here for all of us to not help each other out and watch. So 6:45 Eastern. So in 45 minutes, in an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to tell you. That's 5:45 for me. So 5:45 my time. So basically an hour and 45 minutes from now, Gigi will be live over there, and we'll go kick it over there. We'll hang for a little bit. I should be able to stop in for just a little bit, but man, I appreciate you guys coming through. It's been great having your man B-Dub on once again. Tell them where they can find you. I know they know where you've been. Somebody up there might not know where to find you.
You can find me on BW1 here on YouTube is where I primarily see myself. I'm trying to be more interactive on the channel, on the community tab, all within there. They can check me out there. I am sometimes on Twitter when I like to open up Twitter, which isn't very often. And I'm on Instagram now and then as well too. But if you want to talk to me, the best place is obviously YouTube.
Yes, sir. So, man, you already know who I am, it's your man Jay. So I'll see you next Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have an even better discussion because next Tuesday is MacBook Pro. I wanted to talk about it on this stream, but it's weird because I don't consider myself an Apple person because I don't really care for iPhones too much. I only have an iPhone because of family members. Obviously, I prefer Android. Stock Android is the way to go for me. And then I love Samsung as well. But, iPhones are cool. And I'm working on an iPhone video that I'll release soon. However, Tuesday should be pretty good because my MacBook Pro delivers, I think, Monday or Tuesday. And I've got a bunch of other stuff. I easily get a ton of packages a week, so it's a lot of fun being a creator. But I thank you guys for coming on. And wow, for those that gave a super chat, I appreciate your support in the channel. It just goes right back into the channel. And Anthony will probably be on next Tuesday. I'm not sure. My Project 13, that Anthony, not Anthony Knight. I don't know if he'll be on next week, but he had to work or something like that. So, but nonetheless, you guys are always supportive. I appreciate you. I probably will stream tomorrow based on the event itself. But to me, this was the highlight of my whole last 3 months. I've been waiting on this phone right here. So if you're not able to get your order in to Google, you should be able to do it now because I believe all of the 128s are available again across the entire lineup. The 6 and the 6 Pro, I think all of them are available at the very second. So,
oh yeah, I'm looking right now. The 6 Pro, and you want stormy black, cloudy white, or
all of them are available.
Sunny are available.
Yeah, all of them are available. So you got a chance to get back in there. So hurry up and grab that.
12 is out of stock in the black. But the other ones are there. You better hustle up now. Buy them all up.
6 Pro, like B-Dub said, you better hurry up and get in there because I'm telling you, people try to clown it, but this phone is one of the most highly anticipated phones of the entire year. And I think Google did a fantastic job on the surface, but in reality, if it sucks, you already know I'm going to lay the hammer down. I ain't going to give them no pass because of no 10 pixel or nothing like that. Mm-mm. It is what it is. A review is a review. No passes, but I got a feeling this phone is going to be fantastic, and I'll be officially carrying this as my second or third phone. As long as I get hold of my daughter and wife and children, that goes over there. I'm like, message me on the other number. Not my main. It's not gonna work. So I'll see you guys in the next video, man. My iPhone 13 Pro video is coming up. What, you working on anything right now, B-Dub?
Say it again.
You working on any new videos that's coming up on the channel?
Yeah, I got a few things. Stuff coming up about Windows 11. I got some stuff coming up probably about the Pixel once I have that in hand. Got some gaming and console stuff. I've been so busy. I've been sitting here with the Switch OLED for since launch day. I've had it since launch day. I haven't even been able to open up the box. So
I couldn't get one. I tried. I couldn't get one. It's just sold everywhere. So
yeah,
hopefully
everybody wanted it all of a sudden now, and I was like, yo, nobody was ordering this thing when they launched it. Everybody was poo-pooing about it on the internet. I was like, no, I'm
I didn't even know about it. I don't game, but I was just gonna get it. Like my granddaughter comes over, so hey, you sit down here, put the iPad down and take this. It's an actual game.
Yeah.
My oldest son, he has a Switch, the original, the 6. I don't know what it's called. He has the one that looks like the one they just brought out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they can come over. It's got a better kickstand. They got the white color. So that's just something to have around the house, but couldn't get one. So it's what it is. So, but yeah, anyway, man, we will get out of here, man. I will see you guys next Tuesday. And possibly if I stream tomorrow, I will see you tomorrow. And then if I stream on Thursday, there's something going on every day this week just about. So I will see you guys in the next video. I appreciate you guys coming through. And we are out of here. Now, my wife is definitely turning in right now.
See you later.
Peace, y'all.